We are down to the final four in the NFL. We are going to be talking about Gary Payton Jr.'s shenanigans he's played in the NBA with some things he did. We will talk about college football championship game coming up. And we hit another milestone here with over 200 subscribers. Thanks to you guys. That and more next on Goode Sports. Thanks for joining us. I'm Randy Goode, and I want to thank everybody that has supported us so far. We've hit another milestone. It's going very well. Over 200 subscribers. That was a huge goal for us, and now we're going to go for 300, but thank you guys for doing that. If you have yet to hit that button, please do so. Like and send messages. We like it. We really appreciate all the comments, all the support, and all the subscribers, so thank you for that. We really appreciate it. We're going to talk NFL since we are right off the bat talking playoffs. Playoffs. Here we are, and we are down to the final four, and there were some great games this week. Nail biters, snow, crazy weather, cold weather, but we got to start off. We had a lot of people picked the Lions to win the Super Bowl. Early in the season, in the middle of the season.
Anytime in the season.
And
I know I did.
And here we are. They're playing the Commanders, and everybody looked at the Commanders and said, good for you. Great season. Congratulations. You're going to get smoked. And
that didn't happen.
Daniel said, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And Gamble/Campbell, I feel actually really bad for him. He looked totally defeated emotionally, physically, spiritually at the end of the game. But
well, it's like they fought through so many injuries.
So yes,
to fight through so many injuries like that and to still just like come up short.
And that city, poor Detroit, they have struggled forever. And you just look at those fans and you just see they all know collectively there is a train coming at them, and they see the light in the tunnel, but it is a train, and it's just like never gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it is hard to get close. Last year they were up 17 against the Brock Purdy and the 49ers last year.
Yeah.
And it was a meltdown and some really questionable decision making.
Yeah.
And then they thought they were better odds this time, and they lose again. I feel for them.
Man, the third quarter when Washington was up about 10. Not even that big of. They're not even up that much. And Detroit's got the ball. And they scan the camera to the fans.
Yeah, and they're just depressed.
And I looked at you and I said, Randy, the air has already left the building.
Yeah.
It's gone.
The fans knew. They're like, I've been here. I know exactly what's happening.
They've been there too many times.
And then they get the hope, and then the rejection, and then the hope, and then the rejection. And Goff, who does so many good things at times, but he is... I said this. He's a good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. But there's only about, in my opinion, 5, 6, maybe 7 quarterbacks that have performed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In big games. And Goff's had more misses than makes.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks because you really want, you want Goff to have that underdog story, right?
Yeah. Especially the way he was discarded after, having a really pretty good season for the Rams. I think they went it to the Super Bowl, and then they just got rid of him.
Yeah.
But I feel for him. But on the flip side, Daniels,
man,
what
he's
a stud.
Electric.
He's different. He showed up, and he had to make big play after big play.
He didn't look phased one time in that game.
No, he's playing. You got Josh Allen, who's played well in the playoffs. I think Lamar Jackson played well. I think Daniels. I think those are your 3 best quarterback that have performed this year in the playoffs.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And he's a rookie.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah.
Against the team.
He's playing chess, not checkers, for sure.
No, what a stud.
I was telling Troy this. Shout out to Troy, right?
Yeah.
We were talking at church this morning, and I just couldn't stop thinking the whole entire time I was watching that football game, man, the Cowboys got to be just kicking themselves in the butt right now.
Yeah.
Thinking about the fact that they had talked about making Dan Quinn the head coach.
I know, they were so close.
They were talking about firing Mike McCarthy, making Dan Quinn the head coach. They gave Mike McCarthy one more year. Of course, Dan had the opportunity to leave, go to Washington. He goes to Washington. He's in the playoffs. He's going to be in an NFC Championship game next week. And the Cowboys are sitting at home.
Yeah.
And, man, they got to be thinking, that coach was on our roster, and we just let him walk.
Let him walk. And a lot of people were saying, because his last game in the playoffs, I think they gave up like 40-some points. And they were like, well, is he a head coach? I think he's proven himself.
Yeah.
I mean, he's turned that Commanders. And I'm going to say this right now. We'll get into the Eagles in just a minute. At the beginning of the season, I said it, and I think a lot of people said it. The NFC East was called the NFC least. They were not looked at as being a very good conference. And here they are, 2 teams that are in the end in the NFC.
And a lot of people don't know this.
Much credit to them.
A lot of people don't know this. The NFC East has the most Super Bowl appearances. And actually, they're going to add one more to the column this year.
Yep, they will.
Because either team wins,
true.
right?
That's true. Yep.
And they actually have the most Super Bowl wins as well.
Yeah.
Between Washington, the Giants, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, they have the most Super Bowl wins. So, yes, they've had some down seasons where you're like, well, whoever makes it out of there is not going to be very good. But, man, that division has proven itself year after year.
Man, I said at the beginning of the season, I thought the Commanders were going to be better.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I think I had them too. But I did not. I had a huge gap.
I think I had the Cowboys over them, and I think you had them over the Cowboys.
Yes.
So good call on your part, man.
But I did not think this.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
I did not see this coming.
Think as much of the Cowboys.
I was thinking like 9-win game, or 8-9-win season.
Yeah. I did not think that.
Yeah.
I did not think Daniels was going to do this. So
now I don't think
impressed.
they're a 100% complete team.
No, they're not.
They still definitely have some holes. I mean, the Lions still put 31 points up on them. They've got some holes in that defense.
Yeah, you just don't want to fall behind because they play so well ahead by ball possession. And so, I mean, they go for it on 4th down. They succeed almost every time.
If you give them the opportunity to have the ball, they will take every minute off the clock.
Yes. Anyway, very, very good. So we got to now talk. I know this is going to be hard for you, but there was another game in the NFC, and it was in the snow.
Yeah.
And I thought this game was going to be go a certain way, and for part of the game it did, but it was way closer than I thought.
Yeah.
But the Eagles and Barkley. What do you think of Barkley? Barkley, I mean, whatever he's making is not enough. Because hey,
don't worry, got him for 2 more years.
and you've got you're rookies.
Yeah,
and it's too bad. How long is Quinyon Mitchell going to be out?
I don't think they've said yet.
Okay, because you got to get him back. But man, I mean, you've got a lot of rookies that are playing major, just like Daniels with Washington.
Yeah.
Man, the Eagles they've turned things around, so they've got cheap players at key positions that are doing well.
Yeah,
and the players that they've paid, are doing well. I'd like to see AJ Brown. I hope to see Hurt, get his game going a little bit more.
Yeah,
and I hope his knee's okay.
I mean, this is the thing. The snow just changes everything.
It does. You don't have footing. You don't have. Yeah, it does.
Because I mean, the first quarter before the snow hit, it was a different game. They came out and Jalen Hurts was 3 for 3 in the first 5 seconds.
Right. That's true.
I don't know. True. Grace asked me on the way home. She's like, "Are the Rams good?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, they're good. They're in the playoffs." But I told her, I said, "This is the thing. Snow. When you have snow, or that much type of weather in a game, it kind of reduces the skill to skill level." And in some ways, it adds a whole new skill level that is now required that you wouldn't usually be required. It just changes the game so much. It slows it down immensely.
I think the underdog has much better odds in snow.
Yes.
Because it changes the variables and it takes away the skill, a lot of it. And it's anyway, but the Eagles did it.
Yeah.
They won. I think you have a kicker over there that was begging for the win because he would have been the GOAT. But
the weird thing is he makes the field goals and then misses the extra points.
I
don't know what's going on.
I don't know. But they won.
They won.
Good for them.
Listen, I'll just quote Jalen Hurts real quick. A win's a win.
That's right.
Let's move on.
That's right.
No, there was parts of that game where I just thought, I mean, what are you gonna do? That team came out and loaded the box against Saquon Barkley, and he rushed for 210 yards on.
200 after didn't he have 250 before?
Yeah, 255.
And then right at the beginning of the game, you have Hurts go for like a 48-yard touchdown.
The Eagles ran for 300.
I mean, and they're going to be the tough out. If they get their passing game and don't have turnovers, they're going to win a Super Bowl.
Well, that's the thing is, like, once again, Jalen Hurts didn't have an interception.
Yep. If he doesn't have an interception, and that's okay, and that's good. If he doesn't turn the ball, they don't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
They're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting next week. Now, we're going to move over to the AFC.
Ooh, okay.
And I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be that guy.
Randy, don't get the crowd started.
But here's the thing. Chiefs win. I just don't get it. They win, and they make the plays at the right time, and they do the right things. Houston had a good season. You know, they had a chance. I just don't know how the Chiefs always get teams to miss more extra points than others and field goals and extras, and then these personal fouls against Mahomes. I mean, there's so many memes and jokes and shorts about Mahomes getting the call and the refs, doing this and that, and they're all over the place. And then they do it again. You got 2 Houston Texans hit each other. Mahomes goes down underneath them, and they give a personal foul.
Yeah, it's just a bad call. It's just a bad call.
It's a bad call, and it helps lead to a touchdown. And they had the other one, bad call, that led to a touchdown. And they get it. They win. It drives me crazy. I just want to, if they're going to win, they don't need those. I just would love to see it, but it ain't going to happen. They got one day.
They blocked a field goal again.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They block field goals. There's goalposts. Go in for them. Anyway, I know whatever. They win. Good for them. They have been a great franchise. But this year, I've just never seen anything like it.
Let's
Every game.
Have you noticed what's going on with Travis Kelce, too?
He played well yesterday.
Man, he's smart. He's so smart.
Yeah.
They have 2 other talented tight ends on that roster, and they said, we're going to let the 2 other talented tight ends, they're going to play well during the regular season.
Yeah, and it's Kelce time.
We'll keep it easy on Travis.
Yeah.
They kind of slowly rested him all season.
Yep.
And now it's Travis time, and he's going full bore, and he's now the biggest part of that offense.
Yeah, he had like a 49-yard play to get down to the 5-yard line.
So smart.
Yeah, I mean, and he's probably more fresh because they didn't beat him up all year.
Exactly.
And I think
I heard everyone chatting about it throughout the season. Oh, Travis not having the year he's usually having. He's not having the year he's usually having. I'm pretty sure they did it on purpose.
Yeah, they might have.
They have 2 other very talented tight ends. They didn't need Travis through the regular season. Yeah. They didn't.
Well, they have a smart front office.
Yeah.
They have the best coach in the league, and they have the best defensive coach in the league.
I don't know. Nick Sirianni's got a better record.
I'm just saying Andy Reid is smart.
Yeah,
and I want to give him credit. And I am impressed by him and that defense. Every time they blitz, it works. Mm-hmm. Every time they don't and they sit back, it works. That I will give them.
Yeah,
I want to give them credit.
And Spags on that defense,
he dials it up and he's a genius.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a team. They do really well. At some point, somebody's going to throw a flag on the 12th man, which is in stripes. For the Chiefs. But anyway,
talk to me about tonight.
Okay, so the Ravens and the Bills.
Yep.
That was a great game. I feel absolutely terrible for Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
He's one of the better tight ends in the league. He started slow, ended very well, and they wouldn't be there without him.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yep.
But his 2 mistakes cost him the game.
Yeah.
You fumble the ball. I mean, they are driving against the Bills, and he didn't make a bad play. It's not his fault. He made a play, he turned, and a guy punched the ball out, and it was a great play, really, on the defense. I just more feel bad for Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Because he's a warrior. And then he comes back and has an opportunity for redemption to catch the 2-point conversion, and he misses it, and it goes away. And I'm going to say this. I am tired of people talking about Lamar Jackson can't win the big game. He had them within an inch AFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl, and it's not his fault a player fumbled it last year, and it's not his fault other players either fumbled or dropped passes. He brought him down the field in the most important time, got a touchdown, and threw the ball that should have been completed, stopped the Lamar can't win campaign.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
No, he is.
And I'm happy for Josh Allen. I like Josh Allen. You taught me he's a Superman guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
didn't throw a single touchdown today.
Yeah,
just
rushed for 2. He only had like 127
you think
yards.
Superman would ever pass it off to a sidekick? I don't think so.
Well, I don't know. I learned a lot about him in our short last week, so I'm very impressed with me some Josh Allen. So good for him. So
this is the thing, though. I will say this. I think the Chiefs would have much rather played the Ravens.
Absolutely. they are. I don't know. But yeah, they're gonna play now. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. It will be a fun game.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs got the better draw that time. And matchup wise, I think it's about a matchup situation. But the Bills are a very good team. They can run the ball. They can throw. We'll see what the weather situation's like. They're both used to cold climates, so and playing in Arrowhead is not the same as anywhere else. That is a hard place to play.
Absolutely.
So last week, A.J. Brown of your Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I know the guy.
Is sitting there, and he in the first round makes $30 million. He had one reception for like 10 yards or something in the game. And, a lot of times people get upset. But he doesn't get upset. He goes and he sits like a good guy and he reads a book. Well, they catch him on the air. They're showing him reading this book.
Which he's done all season, by
all
the way.
season he's been doing this, but they happen to catch him just chilling and reading a motivational. I think it's called Inner Excellence.
Yep.
It was rated 552nd on the bestseller list on Amazon.
Yep.
They zoom in on it. Philadelphia fans go crazy about it. And he became the #1 seller in one day.
Yeah.
He shot up 552,000 points.
Yeah.
This guy went in this author Jim, Murphy or something like that. He went in debt for this, and now #1 seller. What a cool story. I'm going to say this, A.J. Brown, please get caught watching our podcast this next week. If you do, we will go viral. I will wear your jersey on the air. So please, while you're there and you only caught one pass, but you're going to the Super Bowl, just take your little little tablet over to Good Sports. We could use the pub, and we will give you motivation. You're the man, A.J. Brown. You're the man. We love you, A.J. Brown. Okay? So I want to see it. Okay?
I love it.
Yes. We will shoot up. 300, nothing. That'll be in 1 hour with you, A.J.
Yeah.
All right. So come on, Philly fans. Fly, Eagles, fly.
That's awesome. This is the cool thing, right? He changed a man's life.
He did.
In a matter of minutes.
This guy spent 5 years writing this book.
Yeah.
5 years. Went $90,000 in debt.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised. No, I'm not surprised. I just think it's hilarious that Philadelphia just can't let the media not run that city. It's like they have to have a problem. The man's been reading this book
I know.
And taking it with him all season. It's one game.
It's motivational. It's all motivational.
And they're like, well, obviously A.J. Brown's pissed off today because, he's reading a book on the sidelines. Yeah, Jim, I've never seen that before. And it's like, do we really need to break this down? The man opened a book on the sideline.
I think Tom Brady said, I've seen a quarterback eat a hot dog. Now, I don't know if he was talking about himself or whatnot. But I'd rather...
No, that was Brett Favre. Brett Favre ate the hot dog.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
oh, is that what he's talking about? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'd rather have a guy reading a motivational thing rather than yelling and complaining about not catching passes when their team's winning.
Yeah.
So good
if that's
on him.
what it takes for AJ to keep his calm through the game, who's to say that's not all right?
No. Listen, AJ, you can. You are the man. This is Good Sports. Watch this motivation. You will be the Super Bowl MVP, okay? I believe in you. All right. So anyway, I expect 10,000 subscribers by tomorrow.
I do want to mention the fact that, like, I also want to put out there, notice how none of his teammates are fazed by this.
No.
And we all, the media, everybody's making it a huge deal.
They always want to. The media always wants to make
But
something.
none of his teammates are like, oh, I can't believe he's doing that. Hey, you see AJ's reading the book. He's pissed off again. No one's doing that.
Yeah. It's not like he's reading the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah. Devontae Smith is sitting right there. He's not even acknowledging it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, cool story, actually. Really cool story.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk NBA for a second. You came across the story, so go ahead and share about our friend Gary Payton.
Yeah, honestly, I have to thank my wife, Grace, because she's the huge Warriors fan. I'm a Heat fan. And I remember when Gary Payton first left the Warriors, I was actually sad because I actually like Gary Payton. He's very entertaining. I don't know if you ever listened to any of his press conferences or any of that stuff. Super entertaining guy, right? And it's just a play where they end up going to the free throw line. Jordan Poole, his ex-teammate, standing right there next to him. He bends down like he's going to do something, like he's going to tie his shoe, or he was just squatting to get his, legs a break. He reaches over, slightly grabs Jordan Poole's lace, unties his shoe, and then gets back up. Looks like nothing happened. And Jordan Poole's like, what the heck, dude? And he turns to the ref, and he's like, ref, my shoe. And of course the ref comes to him, and he's like, Gary, you can't untie his shoe. And he's like, you don't know that I did that. He could be lying, ref. He could be lying.
Technically, that's not a lie. He could be lying.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. But it's too funny. And you got to think, they were teammates for a certain amount of time. And this is what Grace said. She's like, well, is he going to get fined for that? And I'm like, yeah, he's definitely going to get fined for that. And she's like, why? It's funny. And I was like, yeah, but then guess what? It sets a precedent that you can untie another player's shoe.
And it's hard to determine if it's in good nature or in bad nature.
Yes, exactly.
You got antagonists that would do that. Dennis Rodman would be tying people's shoes together all game long. So.
I mean, for Gary Payton and Jordan Poole, I'm sure they have enough of a relationship where it was funny and it's okay. Ha, everyone moves on, right?
Yeah.
But if Gary Payton does that to Jimmy Butler, I'm sure there's going to be a fight breaking out, which we don't want to set that precedent.
No.
But, man, it makes for
it was
hilarious.
Great.
So funny.
Good TV. Something actually in the NBA worth watching.
Yes.
So, all right, sticking with that, Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
Just finished his suspension.
Yep. It's like he just got out of jail, you know?
Okay, so I actually like the hardline stance that Pat Riley had. I'm curious what your take is, but he appeared to be kind of dogging it beforehand. He's wanting to trade. I don't like it when these players that are making $50 million are living in Miami with the tax break and the weather and everything. And the Miami Heat organization is one of the top, I don't know, 5, if not 2 or 3 best organizations in basketball. Pat Riley's got like 7, 8 championship rings in different capacities.
Yeah.
And you're gonna complain? Like, what are they doing wrong? It's not like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
you just like play basketball, play hard, do your part, and I think it stemmed last year a little bit is when he popped off when he wasn't playing about Boston and Pat Riley. I liked it. He just says, "Shut up! If you're not playing, shut up. You don't need to add fuel to a game you're not even playing." Yeah, and because he was saying, "Yeah, you're lucky I'm not there," blah blah blah, whatever. And anyway, that's my take. I hope they don't reward him with what he wants. Yeah. But what do you
They will.
Think? Yeah.
This is the thing. We just said we can't set a precedent for untying people's shoes.
Yeah.
The NBA has set a huge precedent that if you're unhappy as a basketball player, you can just say, I want to leave, and they're going to make it happen.
And then you can almost say, I want to go to this team.
Yeah.
And they'll take a worse trade.
Yeah.
And I just think
this is the thing is Miami's going to do it. They will.
You think they will?
Oh, yeah, they will.
Oh.
Because
it's a cancer in your...
Oh, and he is... Listen, I love Jimmy. Jimmy, if you're listening to this, which you'll never listen to this, but man, I think he is an amazing basketball player. One of my favorite Jimmy Butler stories is he came back to the Timberwolves and just made all of his other teammates look like a bunch of idiots when they had a 5-on-5, and he was with the second team, and he just basically scored 30 points on the first team and just said, pay me my money, and walked out, right? His attitude, his mentality is something I really love. It's the Jordan mentality, the Kobe mentality, where I am that guy, I can make it happen. He's the type of guy where no matter how he's feeling, how he's doing, he's might have missed every shot that day. You're giving him the ball in the last 3 seconds, right?
And he always worked hard.
Yes, always worked hard. But here's the deal. It has now turned sour. And I can tell you the last thing you want to do is when a relationship with a player like him turns sour, the last thing you want to do is try to keep him there. Now, it seemed like he was at least happy to be back for the game that he came back and played. And it sounded like Eric Spoelstra said, hey, they're all adults. It's going to be okay. But I'm pretty sure they're looking for a trade. And that's the only reason Jimmy's playing right now.
It sounds like he said it is what it is. It's not like he's saying it's he's a truth teller.
Yeah.
You can tell by his expression and everything. I hope they can work it out. But I wish these prima donnas could kind of look and say, you know what? I'm making I think he's making $48 million to play basketball.
Yeah.
And he's going to play 60 games this year.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Jimmy, okay? They've had an edge of a championship roster for like 6 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, back to COVID. What was COVID? 2019? That was the 2019?
2020 was it was 2019. It
It
was
was
basically
2020?
2020, yeah.
Okay, so they've had a possible championship roster for 6 years now. And they've needed one piece to really put one piece to make that puzzle a real contention.
Yeah.
And they've been to the finals twice, right? And they just keep on not doing it. They haven't pulled the trigger. There was the Damian Lillard. They were like, oh yeah, he's gonna come to Miami. Never happened. Didn't happen. And he wanted to be in Miami. Anyways, if you're Jimmy Butler and you've been putting a team on your back for 6 years to go to a championship.
Yeah.
And then they just don't make that one final puzzle piece for you
Yeah.
after 6 years, I'm sure it's got to be frustrating. Imagine going to your job for 6 years and they keep on telling you, we're going to get you more help, Randy. We're going to get you more help.
But don't you think they're trying? But when you take $50 million, it makes it harder. You have a cap.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the hard thing, too, is they have so many young guys who are extremely talented. And it's hard to say, I'm going to get rid of these young, talented guys for a championship now.
Yeah.
You know?
Mortgage your future.
Mortgage your future, which some teams have done. It doesn't work out. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know, like I said, I can see where he's coming from. I can see why he's frustrated. I hate to see Jimmy go because I think he's got a mentality like a Kobe. And I love that part of him.
Yeah.
But I think he's gone at this point. I don't think he's coming back.
You think it's over?
Yeah. He's going to play a couple games. They're going to make a trade go through, and it'll be done.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got a huge college football championship game, and I'm up 1.
Yep.
So I am picking Ohio State.
They're going to lose.
Okay. Over Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame has some, I picked them to go there. So I love me some Notre Dame, but I think Ohio State's going to win. I want to just first do our predictions real quick, all of us. All right. So
all right.
I'm going Ohio State. I think they're going to win by, I'll say 12.
Okay.
Okay. What do you have, Trent?
I'm going Notre Dame. It's
Okay.
easy for me. I honestly think Notre Dame can win this football game.
Can and you believe they
Whoa,
will.
Hey,
Can,
don't you be putting words in my mouth, Randy.
I'm sorry to put your words in your mouth.
Listen, they have a real
They can
possibility of winning this football game.
They can. They slow the game up.
I think they have some serious ways they can win it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to say how I think they win it?
Yes.
Listen, I think, first of all, Notre Dame does a really good job at sustaining drives on
Yes.
offense.
They're the Commanders.
They are. And I think if they can control the time
Mm-hmm.
by having the ball and keeping Ohio State's offense, which is a very explosive offense,
Yes.
off the field,
Yes.
I think they have a really good chance at being up on the scoreboard. Okay. And they also have created a ton of turnovers this year.
Mm-hmm.
If they can create turnovers like they have
That's
with
the
every
key.
other team,
That's the key.
I think there's a legitimate way
They
they
do
can
have
win
a
this.
chance.
Like I said, if they can keep Ohio State's offense off the field
Yeah.
and they can keep their offense on the field, and then every opportunity they take for a turnover, I think there's a legitimate chance.
Now, I believe that Ohio State, I saw something, they were the number 1 ranked defense.
Yeah, they're pretty serious.
And then your receiving crew.
is insane.
So yeah, Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, he's a nut job.
He had his stats, including going forward here. He's at 1,200 over 1,200 yards and 14 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr. was considered the best receiver to come out of football in a long, long time.
I'm gonna be honest. I think we messed that one up.
But out of college,
We got to give him time. We
we
got
got to give him some time. But out of college, he was considered the best in a long time.
Yeah.
He had 1,200 yards, and I think it was 12 touchdowns. It was 14 touchdowns. It was the same thing. And that's what this freshman has. And they also have a Mecca. And so they have a couple receivers. They've got a quarterback, I think he's 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Their running game is their weakness. It's not a great running game. But Will Howard, he threw for 3,800 yards. They've got the best safety in football, Caleb Downs. I think Ohio State's going to win this unless there is some crazy, huge turnover battle. You give the edge. Notre Dame has the best tight end in the league. Drew, who do you have winning, Ohio State or Notre Dame?
I got Notre Dame on this.
Oh, my goodness. People are trying to catch me. They do not believe it. They do not believe it.
No, I believe it.
No, you believe it could happen.
I believe that they can win.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Listen, when they put the last names on their backs for the playoffs, I said they can win.
Yes.
They can win. Okay.
All right.
That's a big deal.
All right. We'll see.
Can you, Ryan Williams?
Yeah.
And the kid out of Ohio State, imagine when they hit the draft. Oh, my gosh. Both are freshmen this year.
Yeah.
And imagine when they hit the draft. I mean, you could have number 1 and number 2 wide receivers. Like, first pick in the draft, wide receiver.
Jeremiah Smith will be the number 1 if he does what he's doing.
Well, I mean, that or Ryan Williams. I mean,
Yes.
Ryan Williams had an insane season this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a joystick.
2 receivers competing. That is the draft you want to have a high pick because you always have quarterbacks coming off and you don't usually have a lot of receivers. So if you're looking for an edge or something like that, you could have.
You imagine? Oh my gosh.
Well, it'll be interesting. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna go back. We got playoffs. We're gonna end with the playoffs.
Playoff football,
so
baby.
Here is where we are in the playoffs.
Yep.
I lost a
that'll
game
happen.
to you and Drew. So here's where we're at. I am 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
You, Trent, you're 6-4. Drew, you are 6-4.
Yes.
We have all tied things up thanks to Mark Andrews was on the struggle bus.
And Superman.
Yeah, yep. Well, it was more struggle bus.
And Superman.
But Superman did do well, and I like the Bills. So let's go over our picks next week. All right, let's start with the Eagles versus those Commanders.
You mean the Commies?
Who's going to be, instead of the NFC least, it's going to be who's the beast, I guess, of the East?
The beast of the East.
Beast of the East. So who do you got? Eagles, Commanders. Go ahead and pick it.
This is an easy one for me, Randy.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you why it's easy for me,
Yeah.
okay? There's this guy, absolute Boston native, You can just hear it in the way he talks. And he's coached this football team so well. And he's taken so much hate.
Yeah.
And his name's Nick.
Yeah.
And St. Nick's going to bring a Christmas present to Philadelphia. And we're going to go back to the Super Bowl, okay?
Yes. Okay.
I'm going Eagles.
I have Barkley leaping over the Commanders. And I think they're going to win pretty handsomely. Well, I shouldn't say that because their offense hasn't really been an explosive, but I don't think that Daniels can continue doing what he's doing. I think the Eagles have way too much. So I think this is a great path for the Eagles to get redemption and get back to the Super Bowl, and we'll figure it out from there.
A Kansas City, Philadelphia Super Bowl?
We will make those predictions here. Drew, who do you have? Eagles, Commanders?
I also have Eagles for this.
So we all
No bad blood. No bad blood in this family.
Now it gets real.
Yeah.
Here we go. Eagles
Nope.
are in the championship according to us. So who's going to make it in the AFC? We've got Chiefs and we've got Bills.
I don't want to pick first.
Okay. Do you want me to go?
I can pick.
Go
first.
ahead, Drew. Who do you got?
Okay. I, in any world, would pick Bills by far. And the reason for that is because they're the only team who legitimately beat them. and they look pretty strong.
Yep.
And, they
They got a
struggled a
track
little
record.
bit today, but they're playing a really good team today. However, the Chiefs have the luck and the refs
and home court
and home
field.
home field. And
That's like
for that reason, I'm going Chiefs. I believe they will make the Super Bowl because life isn't fair.
Oh, that's great.
Life
Okay,
isn't fair.
so we've got one person with the Chiefs. Okay, so Trent, you want to go next?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I'll go. I'll go right now. All right, so we're all tied up here. I'm just going to share with you. Same type of thing. About 4 years ago, roughly, I was in Seaside at a basketball tournament, and I was eating at a restaurant at this time, and not far from me, like a block away, in the theater, they were watching a game, and it was the Bills versus the Chiefs. And I am on my phone, and there's only like 3 minutes to go. And Josh Allen was mini Superman at the time, and he brings them down, and they are going to upset the Chiefs. And then Mahomes and Tyreek come back. And then Allen came back. And then Mahomes came back. And Allen came back again. And I'm literally running from the restaurant back and forth and back and forth. I kept using the restroom, and I got caught. Obviously, I didn't have that big of a problem. And Mahomes won it at the end.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. I was told that Allen is Superman, and I've watched a guy that if you look 4 years later, he is not the same person he was before. He's been redeemed. He is more than what anybody else is in this league. Maybe the best in the league, and Mahomes has dropped. So I say redemption is here, saith the Lord. No, I'll say saith me. And I think Buffalo is going to go back to the Super Bowl, and I pick Josh Allen, the MVP of the AFC Championship game, and Mahomes and the refs and the bounces going left or right are not going their way. So I'm going Bills, baby.
Bills, baby, Bills.
Bills, baby, Bills. So, Trent, who do you have?
Okay, this is why I wanted to pick last.
Shout out, Paul. Go ahead.
This is why I wanted to pick last, because I didn't actually care whether you or Drew picked either team.
Yeah.
I am just having a struggle picking between these two.
It's hard.
Because personally, I would love to see Josh Allen and the Bills win.
Yes.
And I know they can do it.
They could do it.
I know that they could rename the stadium Allen Head.
Yes.
Okay? I know that they would love that out
Yes.
there in Kansas
Yes.
City. But man, I'm just like, the track record.
I know.
And how cool would it be to see another Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl?
Oh, you want redemption.
I want
I tried
redemption.
that. It didn't work.
I want blood, Randy.
I get it.
I want blood.
I get it. I get it.
But I also want to see the Bills because they're such a great franchise. If you had to name two franchises that have fans that are just absolutely electric, you'd say the Eagles and the Bills.
Yeah.
You got the Bills Mafia, and you got Eagles fans who throw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Yeah.
You know? It's just two fan bases that deserve
Yes.
an opportunity to go head-to-head in Super Bowl. Imagine the tailgate that a Bills-Eagles game would have.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it'd be
Yes.
electric. They'd be having table smash offs. You
Yes.
know, right there in the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but you convinced me. Tell me again about what does Josh Allen do?
He wakes up every morning and he pisses excellence.
I mean, man, that is not easy to do. So I'm all on board with him. I know he's gonna have to overcome like 12 points for fortunes and all that kind of stuff. And the Eagles are awesome, but I just think Josh Allen is gonna put that cape on. And I think he is going to lead
This is
his
so
team
hard.
to victory.
This is so hard. I wish you guys would have picked the
At
same.
some point, something's got to change. And I think it's coming up next week. You're on the line. Who's going to do it? Are you picking Superman or Super Mahomes?
Okay, I'm just going to write it. I'm just gonna write it, and whatever feels right. Whatever feels right.
Oh my goodness! Now I know I did pick the Bills to lose this week, but I was wrong, and I have seen the light, and it is bright, and it is blue, and it is white with a little bit of red, and it is Josh Allen. Who do you have? Who'd you put down?
I wrote the Bills.
The Bills! The Bills! We've got 2 Bills.
This is the thing. I just
One
kept on
Chiefs.
thinking about it, and you know what God doesn't want right now?
What's that?
He doesn't want me to have seek revenge.
That's
okay?
true.
And if the
That's
Chiefs win, I'm
That's
seeking
true.
revenge. And God doesn't want that. He wants me to just let it go, let bygones be bygones. We lost the game. Move on. It's a new season. I would rather beat the Bills in the Super Bowl.
Now, I'll tell you, it didn't happen, but if it would have been the Bills versus the Lions, you could have had one team in their franchise guaranteed to finally win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That would have been
That would have been cool.
And so now you're going to have the Bills go to the championship and lose again.
Yeah, if you think Josh Allen's
that it will.
Superman now,
Yeah.
imagine how much harder he would play in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like the
Yep.
adrenaline that would be going through his body. You couldn't tackle him.
Yep.
He'd break every
I
tackle.
think Carter's going to try.
Yeah.
So
By
we'll
the
see.
way, can we talk about Jalen Carter?
Jalen
Man,
Carter.
he had a great day.
He won that game.
He
in
forced
a
a
lot of
fumble,
ways.
had
He
like
sealed
2
the game.
sacks.
Yeah.
The pressures he had today was
Yep.
insane.
Yep.
He's a beast. Him and Jared Verse, the rookie for the
Yeah.
Rams, they were going at it on
Yeah.
the sideline before the game.
Was it Verse that hit Hurts in that game?
Mhm.
That I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Shout out to the Rams too.
Yeah.
They I think
Speaking of
outplayed
which-
what I expected.
Speaking of which, Saquon technically has the chance to break the all-time rushing record for a season, including the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So Terrell Davis, I think, owns it right now.
Okay.
I think it's 2,000.
And he could have had 60 more yards on that
Yeah.
last play that he kneeled down
Yeah.
in the game before.
So I think the
Wow.
record, the season record, including the playoffs, is like 2,500 yards from Terrell Davis.
oh.
And
So what's he need left? Do you know?
I
Is it like
think
200
he
yards?
needs like 200. So
He goes to the Super Bowl.
then he could probably get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
anyways,
congratulations. Well, fun week of playoffs.
Hmm.
And congratulations to the 4 teams. And I'm joking when I say stuff about the Chiefs. They are a great organization. That's the truth.
extremely well ran for sure.
Yes, and they are classy
Yeah.
and well ran. So any of those 4 teams that go, it would be a great story. And is it going to be Daniels, the rookie, leading them to the promised land? Is it the Eagles flying back to the Super Bowl
Yeah.
a few years later? Is it the Chiefs in a three-peat?
Three-peat.
And is it finally the Bills
For their
time
first
to
Super
go
Bowl.
to go? I mean,
Yeah, you got a lot of great
a
storylines.
lot of
there.
great stories.
Yeah.
So one of them will happen.
You know
3
what's sad? I think
heartbreaks.
the Philadelphia Eagles story is probably the worst.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst
Okay.
one.
So I have a question. Is it better emotionally to be in a situation like I'm in with the 49ers and I've got no stress and pressure? Okay. So not that it's fun to not make the playoffs, but I don't, or to continue to get back like the Bills did 4 years in a row back in the 90s and lose every time. What would you rather have where you're maybe first round exit type of thing? And,
I would much rather just not even make the playoffs.
yeah, I mean, emotionally.
No, even a first round exit sucks.
it does.
Yeah.
But every time you get further, it's just the loss hurts more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you think? What is harder?
I think it kind of depends on how far you make it. I think
Yeah.
early playoffs is not as bad, but I mean, for us, the Niners 3 times going to the Super Bowl in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
It's devastating.
It is. And NFC championship games, we've been in many.
Yeah,
It is really hard. You look at the Bills, they went 4 years in a row to the Super Bowl. And they lost one of them by a field goal that went wide right.
Yep.
And
That was the Giants game, right?
it was the Giants game.
Bills,
That's how
yeah.
the Giants went to the Super Bowl. I think they won it.
They did.
It's just, that's hard. So, the Eagles can, for those few players that were there before, they can get a little redemption. I feel bad for Kelsey. I really wish I knew what was going through Jason Kelsey's head because he's going to say all the right things because he's a good guy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, it is got to be hard.
Oh, it's a gut punch.
To sit there and go, not that you don't want your brothers to do it.
Yeah.
But to say, one more year.
Yeah.
But he did win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that helps.
I don't know that we talked about this on the podcast, but honestly, I was telling Grace last night. What's the coolest thing is Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelsey, who are vets that we've had in Philadelphia. They've been there their whole career in Philadelphia. They retire after 12, 13 years, right? So they've had long, really good. I mean, they've been studs. At one point, everyone was saying that Fletcher Cox was the best defensive tackle aside from Aaron Donald. He made the All-Decade team, I think, for 2010 to 2020. Anyways. And Jason Kelsey was a staple, and he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer for centers. So to have those guys retire, and this year specifically, you had Cam Jurgens, who is Jason Kelsey's replacement, win a Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
First year.
Yeah.
You had Jalen Carter, who is Fletcher Cox's replacement, win a Pro Bowl.
That's crazy.
And that is such a cool feeling because you got to know that they were coaching them up.
Yeah.
They were coaching them up,
and
they led them to success. The next group, they gathered them and moved them on.
Yeah.
What a great moment.
Yeah.
For sports.
It is. That is cool. So it'd be a lot of good storylines. We'll see what happens. We will know next week at this time who's going to the Super Bowl. So fun. Thank you guys again for your support. 200 subscribers. We are ecstatic and appreciative, and we appreciate it. If you're watching this and you have not hit the subscribe button, please do so. When you watch it and you subscribe and you like the things that you like or you make comments, it hits an algorithm. It helps us get our content out. That's why we're getting more and more. We've had several things that have had thousands of views and whatnot, and we really appreciate all the support. So thank you. We will see who we'll know next week. Who's college football champion?
Yep.
And who's in the Super Bowl?
Oh, I'm so excited.
And we'll see if there's any more untied shoes in the NBA. See you next week.